Hi, I'm Thom from Wilberforces. We're just about to release our second album called Vipassana. Vipassana is a transcendental meditation retreat. Neither of us have done it. I thought it would be a fitting title because it's a punk rock album.
Right.
We've been through a few lineup changes recently. We've gone from our first record we recorded as a four-piece, and we had Emily Littler from Street Chant on guitar, on lead guitar, and a guy called Callum Slay playing drums. Now we're a two-piece now, and we tried out being a three-piece for a while also. That didn't really work out too well, and yeah, we just decided to go with what we were comfortable doing, and as far as songwriting and being able to, mobility as well, it turned out to be for the best, and both of us are really enjoying the sound of it. Doesn't feel like it's lacking anything. In fact, we're probably playing a bit more beyond our ability, and we started doing that a bit more, so it became a lot more exciting.
So who's the drummer?
The drummer's Chris, who was formerly playing keys in the old lineup. So he jumped on drums even when we were a three-piece, and he's been drumming for quite a long time, so Chris Farnham. Initially, a lot of friends of ours, when we first became a two-piece, and didn't pull any punches and, letting us know how terrible it was. which was good to hear. And that way we didn't definitely want to approach anything in a sort of half-assed way. And it was a learning curve, especially probably going from playing songs written as a four-piece band, trying to cover them as a two-piece. We've pretty much got rid of most of our old material and just wrote the whole new album, really. And people are responding to it fairly well at the moment and saying they like it a lot better. Not to, kind of put a dampener on the old lineup, and we really enjoyed that as well. But I think it's sounding a bit more intense and maybe a bit more kind of honed down. There's a lot more exploiting of nuance and stuff like that, and just there's room to experiment with a lot more rhythm and tone and things like that, rather than this big kind of chaotic wall of noise, which I love. But there's different ways about getting, being more intense without necessarily turning everything way the hell up. And I don't know. Yeah, we had the songs written before we did the album. And we approached the recording in a sort of rip shit and bust manner with Jackson Hobbs, and we went away up to a place called Tomarata, which is near Mangawhai, which is in Northland. It's a beautiful place to record. A torrential hurricane type cyclone storm hit when we made it, which was perfect. Kind of suits the music, I guess. Even some song titles, I guess, as well. It was a really great way to record, just sort of being away from everything and just feeling free to experiment. And I mean, we had the songs written and they were sussed, but especially the way that we approached the engineering of it, there's kind of little, like, quiet little creepy things going on in some of the creepier songs, and I think listening to it on headphones would be a different experience than hearing it live, or even just listening to it on stereo at a party or something like that. God forbid someone puts it on at a party, I don't know. It's really that upbeat. It's quite a nightmarish sort of album, a lot more so than the last record, but not in a way that it's like, oh, this is my tortured soul that I'm trying to share with everybody. It was more a nightmarish album in the way that it's like a movie that we couldn't afford to make. And you don't necessarily have to be experiencing everything that you sing about. Sometimes it's fun to kind of have scenarios, and that they are sort of based in reality. But I wouldn't want to say too much because I wouldn't want to ruin it for anyone as far as the subjective what someone might get from listening to the album. I mean, it's not depressing. I'd like it to be scary at times, but it's more like cuddle up to me at the movies. It's scary, right? I don't know if couples are really going to put it on in bed, turn out the lights, and fucking open the windows. Look out for UFOs or Mothman or something like that. The inspiration behind the album and the songwriting, with the first record, a lot of it was like what I was seeing around me, I guess. What friends and what certain family was going through, what friends were doing, people moving away, what people are doing socially, the way people spend their lives, and what, how I was sort of imagining my own life at the time, through a pretty abstract filter, because I don't want to be too much hard on the sleeve or too obvious. But with this one, I tried to sort of avoid that, or kind of not really I'm not really talking. There's no songs really about me or my personal experiences on it. It's just even a lot of it's kind of maybe quite unreasonable, and I just rather embrace that because there aren't any rules. I can write about whether the fuck I want to, and a lot of it's like quite almost sort of sci-fi-ish or just things that I wanted to explore, or just even kind of paranoid sort of delusions that they're not necessarily drug infused, or just like a nightmare that you wake up from and you don't know why you're scared shitless, but you kind of want to just grab a hold of it and sort of maybe write a song about it. Will stop things being so so confusing. Or I mean, there is a little bit of a political leaning on some of the songs, but only in a way from a real naive point of view. And I think that the political aspects of the songs are quite obvious on the album, and the kind of a lot of it's just about kind of 21st century culture and like sort of being caught between like a rock and a hard place of like there's nothing you can like. I mean, the sort of platform ambivalence thing of everything being ultra digital and ultra fast, and I'm just sort of like I think a lot of the album comes from a feeling of everyone like those cartoon characters that run out onto the cliff, and they still run. It's only when they look down and realise that they're not fucking standing on everything that they fall down. So that's a way that I can maybe sum up a lot of the album of what like lyrically where I'm coming from. Like I said, a lot of it's almost just I mean, I'm going for it. I don't know if it comes across, but trying to be sort of cinematic, or just imagine scenarios and sort of putting myself in them and seeing what would happen. But I'm not too sure what people will take away from it lyrically, or even just the sonic narrative that it has. It's something I'm interested in exploring, and I think there's definitely room to innovate with that in punk music at the moment, because a lot of it strikes me as, and I enjoy like a lot of new American indie stuff, but it does strike me as pretty innocuous and kind of like forcing itself to be happy, and it doesn't sound like a lot of people from LA, bands from LA or New York there seems to be a little bit of ignorance, like really not that aware of what the fuck's going on around them, or they don't want to talk about it because it's just too depressing, or it's post 9/11 or something, I don't know. But I mean, I'd prefer to talk about it, and I'm not worrying about killing anyone's buzz. Like, if you've got a problem with that, then listen to something else, Yeah, as far as the political aspect of what's happening at the moment in New Zealand, and it seems blatantly obvious that National are going to get in again, it's just really upsetting for me, because people do seem to be starving, and that's just really fucked and really, really tragic, and it's nothing, there doesn't really seem to be any kind of straight answers going out there to people. But we've still got like recipes for like poached tuna steaks with pear like sauce in the Canvas Herald magazine, and people are still fucking drowning babies and shit. So I don't know, as far as it's just that the actual confusion, the way all these messages are getting sent out, and the sort of, the reason this is like this is because you don't understand, and things are just too complicated because you don't have an economics degree. Of course we don't have, everyone doesn't have an economics degree. Should we? Fuck, maybe. I don't know. I hate those cunts. Yeah, just to reiterate, we recorded with Jackson Hobbs from Sharpie Crows, who plays drums and bass in Sharpie Crows, and he did an amazing job. He's almost like New Zealand Steve Albini, but probably better, in my opinion. I think it's a really quite a nasty sounding record, which is what I wanted. I didn't want to show any signs of trying to go shoegazy or anything, so hopefully people like it. And thanks for watching. My name's Thom from Wilberforces. I had a great time talking to you, and you listening to my unreasonable opinions about life and politics and stuff.